a sport that's very, very old. You know, we've got lots of history and heritage, but sometimes it's good to modernize things and make it a bit more current. We start off very similar to what we had last year, which we will call FP1 and FP2, which is free practice for the riders to go on track, no pressure, they can test their bikes. And then once that's finished, we go into qualification process, which will be Q1, and then the fastest of that 8 pairs forward onto the second part of it, which will be Q2, and then we go to a sprint race or the qualification end part, which will be Q3. The 2 guys that do top the chart after 20 heats, they will go direct to the final, so that's the important part of this. And then you've got your 2 blocks of 4, so you'll have 4 riders in last chance qualifier 1 and 4 riders in last chance qualifier 2, and it's only the winner of each of them, so that will be quite a big battle on track. So we've tried to help the riders that scored good in the 20 and also made it a bit more dramatic, let's say, to get to the final.
My approach is that these are the rules, this is how we function. So okay, I'll try to adapt to it. So in qualifying this series, either 3 rounds or 2 leading into a sprint race where championship points will be awarded 4, 3, 2, 1. In the GP itself, up to 28, the top 2 go straight to the final, 3rd to 10th to the last chance qualifiers, and the winners of those 2 races will join the final. 10 rounds, 7 countries, the stage set for an amazing season. Let's go straight to Landshut in Germany for the first sprint race in Speedway GP history. During a Grand Prix, you can never be too confident. I never try to focus on where I am, on what track, but on what I need to do during the race in the evening.
Tylko bardziej mi interesuje, jak pojadę wieczorem i na tym się maksymalnie skupiam.
Speedway Grand Prix is back at the One Solar Arena for the first time since 1997. The Bavarian fans delighted after a 27-year-long wait. The first sprint race of the season was won by 5-time world champion Bartosz Marzlik here in the red helmet. He made the best start, whilst behind him Brady Kurtz and Andrzej Lebedev were fighting for second place. Marzlik increased his lead on lap 2, whilst Robert Lambert took 3rd place on lap 3. No problem for Marzlik, easy win, but the newcomer Kurtz already making his mark.
The bikes are working really good. I think we found some good stuff this morning in practice, which was important, and so far it's been good. I've never enjoyed riding here before, but I did this morning and I have again now, so it's been good, nice.
Well, Kurtz marked his full-time debut in the Grand Prix Series with a place in the final, along with Bartosz Marzlik, whilst it was Andrzej Lebedev and Dan Bewley who also made it by winning the last chance qualifier races. The first final of the season and a real chance to make a high-scoring start to the World Championship. A reminder, it's 20 points for winning a final, and the points then go down 18, 16, 14 for the remaining places. Marzlik already has won a record-breaking 26 Grand Prix. Marzlik on the inside here for the final in Landshut, and Lebedev's off the gate 2, Kurtz off gate 3, and Bewley off the outside. The first final of the season, round 1 of the Grand Prix campaign. Bartosz Marzlik, the defending world champion, off the inside gate and making a fast start from the inside gate with Lebedev's in second place. Dan Bewley in yellow going really wide on the second bend pickup. Enormous drive, almost hit the fence there on bend 2 in fact, and then Marzlik shoots clear into the 3rd bend, and Marzlik with the advantage here ahead of a battle for second place with Bewley right there with him, and they're all stacking up now into lap 2. With Lebedev in 3rd place and Brady Kurtz here missing out. As Marzlik race leads, made the start from the inside gate. The world champion trying to start as he means to go on and controlling this final here in round 1. Second place is Great Britain's Dan Bewley. The Latvian star Andrzej Lebedev's in 3rd place, and that looks like being the 1, 2, 3 in the opening round of the season. On the final lap now, Marzlik with the advantage, Bewley in second, as Marzlik looking over his shoulder, and he knows that the victory here is pretty much in the bag, and victory in the opening Grand Prix of 2025 goes to the defending champion Bartosz Marzlik. Marzlik takes it and takes 20 big points to add to the 4 he took in the sprint race 1 day earlier. A perfect start to the campaign for defending champion Bartosz Marzlik. Had it his own way there from the inside gate. Dan Bewley in second, couldn't manage to make any major challenge, but did take a couple of points after a spectacular ride on the first 2 turns. Look at this from Bewley in yellow, right round the boards, almost clipped the fence there, had to get out of it for a second, but got through to second place. It didn't quite take him up to the race leader. Still useful championship points for him. Lebedev's in 3rd spot. with Brady Kurtz missing out at the back. Bewley spectacular in the extreme there, but Zmarzlik in control, able to look over his shoulder, knows what the race situation is, looking both ways in fact, en route to victory. Zmarzlik successful, starting off with a victory in the first round of 2025.
I'm very happy because I'm first time in my career in GP, so winning the sprint, winning the after 5 hits and winning final is for me so new challenge, and I'm happy about this.
Zmarzlik off to a flying start, but also a massive result for Latvian star Andrzejs Lebedevs, the first podium finish of his career.
My first podium in Speedway Grand Prix, and I'm really happy and satisfied about myself, about my team. I'm here in the top, and hopefully bank is open and now is from the hill.
So Bewley and Lebedevs in second and third places, but the defending champion is not slowing down. Zmarzlik clearly wants that record-equalling 6th world title. The maximum 24 points for him in Germany. Good start for Kurtz with 17. Last year's world number 2 Robert Lambert has to be content with 11. 2 weeks later, it's time for the second round of the season. We move to the capital of Poland, Warsaw, and the famous PGE Narodowy Stadium. Around 50,000 fans, and a big surprise with Bartosz Zmarzlik out in Q1, eliminated by Czech champion Jan Kubek. It's only his second Speedway Grand Prix season. Well, Kubek is in the white helmet colour here, and he won the sprint race ahead of Brady Kurtz in yellow, who collected 3 points. Spectacular stuff from Robert Lambert, who was third. He scored 2, and that left his fellow countryman Dan Bewley at the back. Some frustration for Zmarzlik, now focused on the meeting itself, as is Australian star Jack Holder, who didn't make the final in Landshut. Here we see former world champion Jason Doyle getting ready for Heat 15 against Frick, Kubera and Lambert. Stadium packed out and enjoying the action. As they get set for Heat 15, then Max Frick on the inside, Kubera, Doyle and Lambert complete the lineup. They're going to turn on with Frick making the start, and contact there with Doyle, and Doyle very, very heavily into the fence. Big crash there in Heat 15, and Jason Doyle in trouble. The ambulance on track, Doyle taken to hospital suffering from a dislocated hip, and he's out of the Grand Prix. Remarkably, given the severity of the crash, there were no broken bones, and Doyle only missed 1 GP. He was back for the Manchester double in the middle of June. Well, that wasn't the end of the drama, because most unusually, Bartosz Zmarzlik failed to make the final in Warsaw. He's in the blue helmet colour here in last chance qualifier 1, but a bad start from gate 2. Contact from Andrzejs Lebedevs in the first bend, and there was no way back. His fellow countryman Dominik Kubera in white did get the win ahead of Lebedevs. Max Frick also missing out. Delight for Kubera, still a chance of a home win for him, but a rare setback for the defending world champion, and possibly a chance for others to take advantage and to gain ground in the title race. Maybe I messed up the start, but you know me, I don't like to dwell on past mistakes, but you also learn from these things, and that's also a great feeling.
Z takich rzeczy też czegoś się nowego cię uczy za każdym razem i to też jest fajne uczucie.
So no Zmarzlik in the final, but Brady Kurtz is there once again, keeping his impressive start to the season going, and there are still 2 Polish riders. Kubera joined by wildcard Patrick Dudek, very keen to make a big impression, and then there's Jack Holder in blue, who so nearly won at this venue 2 years ago. It's arguably the biggest Grand Prix of the season, certainly the biggest setting. And they line up for the final of round 2 with Kurtz on the inside, Holder on gate 2, Dudek on gate 3 and Kubera on the outside. The concentration there of Brady Kurtz off the inside, who's outgated by Jack Holder into the first bend, and Holder in blue gets the advantage with Kurtz in second place. Dudek over a big charge around the outside, but covered off there into the bend, and Kurtz almost gets inside Holder, but Jack Holder has the advantage, and Holder race leads onto his second lap. Kurtz fighting hard in second with Dudek in third over Dominik Kubera, but it's Australia 1 and 2, and Jack Holder on the last bend now, looks over his shoulder, he knows he has it in the bag, and Jack Holder, the winner in Warsaw. Sensational performance by him. He goes from P10 to P4 in the championship standings. Lebedevs now in third place.
Happy with second. It's wild to think that I've been in 2 GPs and made 2 finals already.
Kurt second in Warsaw, just behind Australian colleague Jack Holder.
Redemption, I should have had this one 2 years ago. You know, I said to my friend today, I said, I'm going to blow the roof off this thing tonight, and I certainly did that.
Second career victory for Holder, following on from Croatia last year, and just the result he required after only scoring 8 points in round 1. Kurt's on the podium as well, along with Patrick Dudek. There's no doubt this is one round they all want to win in such a fabulous stadium, and Holder gets to celebrate the biggest win of his career so far. So it's an Australian 1-2 in Warsaw, albeit a painful night for Jason Doyle, and you don't often see Zmarzlik scoring single figures. What will happen next time out in Prague? The Marketa Stadium is the host of round 3, and this venue has been on the GP calendar since 1997. In recent years, Martin Vashlik's been the king with 3 successive victories. A massive incident in the last chance qualifier 1, which could have real title implications. Brady Kurt in yellow heading to the final, but under pressure from the wildcard Leon Madsen in red, and then on the last bend, a broken chain for Kurt, and he came crashing down. How important could that be for Kurt, as he for the first time misses out on making the final? It could be a big swing in terms of the overall points and a heavy fall. And there you can see the damage with the chain off, and of course the frustration for the rider. Delight for Madsen, just like Dudek in the previous round, keen to show he can still compete at this level. Zmarzlik's in the final in his 100th Grand Prix, and also in the race Jack Holder looking for back-to-back GP wins, and Fredrik Lindgren in his first final of the season. The final in Prague sees Zmarzlik off the inside in red, Madsen in blue off gate 2, Holder in white off gate 3, and Lindgren in yellow off the outside. Zmarzlik going from the inside gate here and making the start. Great start by Zmarzlik. Now watch out for Lindgren in yellow around the outside. Zmarzlik really pinned it tight off bend 2, but then comes across to cover Lindgren, and Zmarzlik leads into bend 3 with Lindgren in second place and Leon Madsen in third spot over Jack Holder. Close for second and third as Leon Madsen trying to work his way through. Fredrik Lindgren goes for the wide line around the outside, but Zmarzlik here in control of the final in Prague, leading into bends 3 and 4, and the world champion back on track after his disappointment in Warsaw in round 2. Zmarzlik in control, Lindgren throwing everything at him, but going wide once more, having to fend off Leon Madsen, who goes inside him, and Lindgren back inside Madsen. Great scrap for second place here, up to the last bend as Zmarzlik comes round to take the victory, looks over his shoulder for a great strap to the line. Zmarzlik from Lindgren, with Madsen in third place. Big finish in Prague, but a big result for Bartosz Zmarzlik. Victory for the second time this season, and Fredrik Lindgren just edging out Leon Madsen for the second place. But joy for the world champion. It's a second win in 3 rounds, his first win in Prague since 2020, and it puts him back on top of the overall standings as well. Zmarzlik and Lindgren tussling on the opening lap. Zmarzlik coming across to block out the challenge of the Swedes, and then we saw Lindgren and Madsen have a tremendous scrap for second place on the final lap, which was just taken by Fredrik Lindgren. But it's certainly Zmarzlik's night, and Zmarzlik back in charge with victory in Prague.
Yes, I'm very happy because this is my 100 runs and 28 winner runs, and so I'm very happy and proud about this.
The full 20 points for Zmarzlik ahead of Lindgren, Madsen and Holder. Kurtz with just 7. That incident in the last chance qualifier cost him at least 7 more points. Well, he was disappointed in Warsaw, but he said he would learn from it and move on. And Zmarzlik is back on top in Prague. It's also a best result so far this season for Lindgren to move into the top 5 overall. Madsen becomes the second wildcard to be on the podium this season. With this win, Zmarzlik retakes the lead from Kurtz. The gap between them is 8 points, with Holder and Lebedev just behind. Lindgren P5 with Bewley rounding out the top 6. And after the break, we go to Manchester for a double-header at the National Speedway Stadium. For the first time in Grand Prix history, the series visits Manchester, the National Speedway Stadium. 2 meetings in 2 nights.
Well, being here in Manchester at the National Stadium, this is not only one of the most exciting venues on the circuit, but probably one of the best racetracks in the world of Speedway today. A track that's 347 meters, but it feels so much bigger with how wide it is. There's so many opportunities as you come into the corner, leave the starting line, and probably one of the most difficult tracks as a rider because there are so many racing lines and so many options.
The sprint race involved both Smarsik and Kurz, but it was Max Frick in the blue helmet colour who came out on top. Manchester is one of his old home tracks. Behind him was fellow countryman Kurz taking 3 points, followed by the championship leader Smarsik. P4 with Martin Vashlik scoring 1 extra point after a poor start to the season. We move to the final of what had been a thrilling meeting. Home hopes with Dan Bewley in blue. Kurz also there as a Bellevue rider. Lindgren in the final and Smarsik there too in red. Smarsik off the inside gate, Bewley off gate 2, Lindgren off gate 3, and Kurz off the outside. Away they go for the final in Manchester. Bewley in blue gets a tremendous start there ahead of Smarsik, and Bewley leads into the first bend, up the back straight for the first time. He lifts and Smarsik trying to get around him into turn 3, and going in between is Brady Kurz, the spectacular move on turn 3. He goes wide though, Smarsik back inside, Bewley has pegged the inside, and Bewley still race leads, but neck and neck behind. We've got Smarsik cutting back in red, we've got Kurz cutting back in yellow, and it's still Bewley with the advantage. 2 fantastic laps of racing there are still going on as Kurz tries the inside on Smarsik, but Bewley with the home crowd right behind him, out in front, and Dan Bewley coming round the final turn now. He knows he has the victory in the bag. There it is, Dan Bewley winning in Manchester ahead of Bartosz Smarsik. Brilliant 2 laps of racing, and Bewley takes it. Bewley over Smarsik, and Bewley's team ecstatic with that one. He knows the track well, but he had to really work for it after making the start. The battle between him and Smarsik and Kurz was spectacular. Kurz in yellow going so wide. Smarsik cutting him out, Kurz cutting back, and Bewley.
It's really special. You know, this is where I started my career and raced here pretty much my whole speedway career, and to go from like the National League, the bottom you can be, and then to the top winning a GP, it's pretty cool.
Well, he won the British Grand Prix twice in Cardiff, but now Bewley has done it on his home track in Manchester after a brilliant 3-way battle with Smarsik and Kurz in the final. It's 20 points for the Great Britain star, and Smarsik extending his series lead over Kurz to 9 points after they finished 2nd and 3rd. We were going into the final, and that was our minimum target. In the final, the difference between 1st and 4th is this small, and you can always be wise afterwards on how you could change things. But you cannot get too stuck on these details, because the next day, everything can be different. The same riders on the same track 24 hours later for round 5. This was a crucial weekend in the race for the world title. And Bartosz Smarsik was right, because despite his brilliant win the day before, there was nothing Dan Bewley in the white helmet here could do in last chance qualifier 2, finishing P4, no final for him today. The opposite result for Fredrik Lindgren in blue after a spectacular battle with Max Frick and Mikael Mikkelsen. Lindgren winning in style, and a 2nd final in a row for the Swedish rider after some amazing overtakes. Smarsik and Kurz in there as well, along with Jack Holder. Bewley missing out, certainly showing how fortunes can change. Well, Kurz keeping himself agile. He had suffered a crash with Lindgren during the qualifying races, but after 2 podiums in 4 Grand Prix, can he stop Smarsik and get that first victory? Grand final of round 5 in Manchester. Lindgren off the inside in red, Kurz in blue off gate 2, Holder in white off gate 3, and Smarsik in yellow off the outside. The final gets underway, and Kurz in blue gets a really good start. Brady Kurz with the advantage here over Fredrik Lindgren, with Bartosz Smarsik going wide off bend 2, but plenty of work to do here. Smarsik still with loads of speed though into the 3rd bend. Kurz has the lead, but Smarsik is coming. Smarsik clips the fence there on bend 4, and now the cut back into lap 2. Spectacular stuff. Bartosz Smarsik inside Brady Kurz, and Smarsik leads it now. Brilliant ride by the world champion. Kurz in 2nd, Lindgren in 3rd, Jack Holder out the back, and Brady Kurz, well, he must have thought he had the victory there. He made the start. He had a big lead over Smarsik early on, but Smarsik reeled him back in, and Smarsik spectacularly around the outside, then turning back into the 3rd lap, and he now race leads around turns 3 and 4. Kurz is tracking him, but maybe that first Grand Prix victory will just elude him here. Lindgren in 3rd, Holder out the back, and Bartosz Smarsik, who didn't have the best record in Manchester when he's ridden here before in Speedway of Nations, well, he's going to put that one right in this Grand Prix. Round 5 goes the way of the world champion, Bartosz Smarsik over Brady Kurz. Brilliant ride, his 29th career victory in Speedway Grand Prix, and doing it from the back there against Brady Kurz. Kurz with the lead, but you can see the delight on Bartosz Smarsik. with that one winning in Great Britain, and is that taking a further step towards a 6th world title? Well, Kurt's in blue with a tremendous start, initially seeing off Fredrik Lindgren, but Zmarzlik was coming with plenty of speed, and that's the moment there where he manages to fire himself down the inside, past Brady Kurtz and through for a brilliant victory in round 5 in Manchester. It's Zmarzlik over Kurtz after a fabulous race.
Yeah, mixed feelings. Obviously one place better than yesterday with a podium. That's better, but I'm sick of losing the finals. I'm not good enough, you know. That's the thing. Or they are better, you know. Both Bartos and Brady have been awesome this year so far, and playing a bit of catch-up.
So it's Zmarzlik 1 place ahead of Kurtz for the 2nd day running, and Lindgren's 2nd podium of the season. No joy this time for either Dan Bewley or Robert Lambert. After a spectacular double in Manchester, reigning world champion Zmarzlik is now 11 points ahead of Kurtz in a very solid P2, whilst Lindgren is now 3rd, but he is 23 points off the lead, so it looks like this man's main challenge could well come from Kurtz. Round 6 was back in Poland at Gorzów, the 4th Grand Prix in 4 weeks. This is very much home territory for Zmarzlik, who rode for the club here for many years. There was Dan Bewley in yellow, who bagged his first ever sprint race victory ahead of Sweden's Fredrik Lindgren in white, and Zmarzlik in red added 2 more points with 3rd place ahead of Jack Holder. That meant his title lead was up to 13 points heading into the meeting itself. Tough conditions in the daytime, but now time for the GP itself. Zmarzlik's first ever win here was back in 2014. A big crash on the first turn of Heat 8. Martin Vashlik in red colliding with Kai Hülkenberg in yellow, leaving him nowhere to go. Both riders going heavily into the fence. In the replay we can see Vashlik made a mistake. He overturned the bike and will be excluded from the heat. No broken bones, but too much pain for him. He's withdrawing from his 100th Speedway Grand Prix prematurely. Hülkenberg also not completing the meeting. The final 4 round 6 will feature the same 4 riders from round 4 in Manchester. Lindgren and Bewley joining title contenders Zmarzlik and Kurtz in a big showdown. If Zmarzlik can extend his series lead here, he'll be in a very strong position. Zmarzlik on the inside, Kurtz on gate 2, Bewley on gate 3, Lindgren on gate 4, round 6 the final in Gorzów, and Kurtz in blue nails a really good start there over Zmarzlik. Watch out for Bewley in white around the outside. Dan Bewley with pace, but Kurtz looking over his shoulder, and Kurtz covering off Bewley into the 3rd bend. They're 2 teammates in Manchester and in Poland as well, but it's Brady Kurtz who leads from Dan Bewley, and Bartosz Zmarzlik in 3rd place with Lindgren at the back. Well, Kurtz out in front. Don't forget he was overtaken in Manchester in the previous round by Zmarzlik. At the moment, he has a convincing lead, and Zmarzlik is battling with Bewley with the home crowd roaring him on. Zmarzlik's gone round Bewley, but is there time for him to catch Brady Kurtz? Kurtz with the lead then up the back straight for the 3rd time. Zmarzlik chasing, but 4 or 5 bike lengths behind, and still Brady Kurtz leads, and still Zmarzlik under a bit of pressure from Bewley. 1 lap to go. Can Zmarzlik do it on home territory, or will Brady Kurtz bring it home here in the final? It's Kurtz for Zmarzlik into the 3rd and 4th bends for the final time, and Brady Kurtz is strongly in and out of the corner, and he knows he's won it. It's Brady Kurtz' first ever Grand Prix victory, and it finally comes right for Kurtz, who takes it over Bartosz Zmarzlik, and that is relief at the 6th time of asking. Brady Kurtz, who's been such a constant factor in the season so far, has now got a win on the board, and he's done it against Bartosz Zmarzlik on the track Zmarzlik knows best of all. Kurtz with the start, and crucially Zmarzlik found himself in 3rd place there behind Dan Bewley for much of the race. Eventually he made it back around the outside of the British rider, but he didn't have time to get to Kurtz. And that victory for Kurtz was certainly overdue based on his form so far this season. Zmarzlik round the outside in strong fashion there against Dan Bewley, but Kurtz looking over his shoulder, and the celebratory hand coming out even before he crossed the finishing line. A Grand Prix winner, Brady Kurtz.
Stood on every other step so far this year, and to finally stand at the top's something really special. I said in Manchester I wasn't giving up on chasing Bartek, and I'm going to be pushing all year, and I'm sure he's definitely not giving up either.
So Kurtz has finally done it, his first ever Grand Prix victory, seeing him take the full 20 points ahead of Zmarzlik, Bewley and Lindgren. Words of congratulations from the defending champion. That's a statement result for Kurtz. After 2 second places and 1 third, he's now finally taken the top step for the podium, and he's done it on Zmarzlik's home territory. The question is, can he build on this result, really put the pressure on during the second half of the season? $11 points. The gap remains the same between the leaders Zmarzlik and Kurtz in P2. Good moves. P4 Dan Bewley and P6 Max Frick, both gaining 1 point in the standings. I finished second because I was fast on track. We were happy about that. But unluckily or luckily, we made an unnecessary technical adjustment just before the final, and so the start was not the best. But you know, I was in front of my home crowd where I grew up, and as usual, it's one of my favourite Grand Prix.
Ale przed własną publicznością, w miejscu, w którym się wychowałem, zazwyczaj jest to jeden z bardziej ulubionych na pewno turniejów dla mnie.
So 4 rounds to go, the title race is on, and coming next, Brady Kurtz on fire. Round 7 of the World Championship in Manila, Sweden, but no practice or qualifying before the main event. As you can see, the afternoon weather was so bad, the FIM jury decided to cancel their sessions to protect the racing surface for the main event. After 20 heats, Bartosz Zmarzlik was only in 6th place, but in the last chance qualifier, he decided it was time to show why he's a 5-time world champion with one of the best races of the season. Zmarzlik in yellow here, needing a win to make the final, with his title rival Brady Kurtz already there, chasing hard after Jack Holder and Jan Quebecer. What a ride round the outside by the rider in yellow, Bartosz Zmarzlik. Spectacular move, even by his standards, to go from 3rd to 1st, and then picking up the drive on the exit of bend 2 to charge away. Under pressure, but coming good in a big race. Bartosz Zmarzlik winning the last chance qualifier and booking his place in yet another Grand Prix final. Zmarzlik will be there to join Brady Kurtz in that race. But it was certainly one of the best racing moves we've seen this season in the last chance qualifier from Zmarzlik. Outside gate in yellow, difficult conditions, fast start by Quebec in white and by Holder in red. No concern for Bartosz Zmarzlik, clearly 3rd there into the 3rd bend, but flying around the outside up on turns 3 and 4 and coming out of that bend in 1st place. Absolute top quality move from Bartosz Zmarzlik, taking him into another Grand Prix final. 3 abreast almost on turn 4, but Zmarzlik gets it done and he makes it through. Well, Kurtz must have been hoping Zmarzlik would miss out, but he still has a chance to narrow the 11-point gap. Also in the final, Dan Bewley, and for the first time this season, Jason Doyle. Grand final of round 7 in Manila, with Bewley off the inside in red, Kurtz in blue off gate 2, Zmarzlik in white off gate 3, and Doyle in yellow off the outside. The title battle on gates 2 and 3, but watch out for Dan Bewley on the inside, Jason Doyle coming from the outside, and Kurtz makes it there from gate 2. Zmarzlik in white going wide to try and pick up drive, but Kurtz with good control here up the back straight, and Zmarzlik with pace now into the 3rd bend. It's Bewley in 3rd place with Jason Doyle in yellow out the back, and Doyle in trouble on turn 4, and Jason Doyle goes down, and the red flags come out, and that one will have to go again. Jason Doyle in trouble, and the bike just runs him into the fence there on the 4th bend, and the former world champion is excluded, and we go again for a restart of the final. Kurtz was in front at the first time, has to make the gate again, and he does, just in front of Dan Bewley. Kurtz then lifts on bend 2, but still manages to maintain the lead, with Bewley in 2nd place. It's Zmarzlik in 3rd, again having to come from the back in a final, with Kurtz race leading, and with Zmarzlik round the outside to get the veteran Bewley into lap 2, but can he catch Kurtz from there? It's Kurtz from Zmarzlik, it's Bewley in 3rd place, and it's the final bend now of the race. It's back-to-back Grand Prix victories for Brady Kurtz over Bartosz Zmarzlik, with Dan Bewley in 3rd place, and Kurtz really is in sensational form. on Zmarzlik in the process. Bewley third, Lindgren fifth and losing more ground on the top two. Kurtz on top again and in brilliant form, 9 points the gap, and surely it's now between him and Zmarzlik for the title. The Polish superstar still leads, but could he come under serious threat in the final 3 rounds? From a technical point of view, this was the most difficult GP. I used 3 bikes and still I was not happy with that day, but I welcome the result, whatever it was. Because in those conditions, after those challenges, I was still on the podium, and I accept that.
Stawałem dalej na podium, to jakby akceptowaliśmy.
Round 8 was the Latvian Grand Prix in Riga, and Zmarzlik was the big favourite. He'd won both previous GPs at the venue. Kurtz was right there in the final again, and they were joined by Fredrik Lindgren and home favourite Andrzej Lebedev, who'd enjoyed a fabulous meeting. Pressure now really on. Kurtz had suffered a last place in his first ride. He also had a warning for movement at the start, and this was a race crucial to his title hopes. The final in Riga with Lindgren off the inside in red, Kurtz in blue off gate 2, Lebedev's in white off gate 3, Zmarzlik yellow off the outside, Kurtz in blue with the start there over, Lindgren into bends 1 and 2, but here comes Zmarzlik from yellow right on the outside, almost clipped the back wheel there though of Fredrik Lindgren, and Bartosz Zmarzlik closed out into the third bend, and he here is at the back. It's Kurtz with the lead. Second place round the outside there in red goes Fredrik Lindgren with Lebedev in third, and Zmarzlik at the moment can make no impression. It's not been easy to overtake on this circuit. We've seen some great moves from Zmarzlik before this season, but not on this occasion. Hat-trick of victories for Brady Kurtz, and Bartosz Zmarzlik relegated to 4th place in the final, and now we really do have a race on for the world title. Brady Kurtz wins once again. Brady Kurtz in sensational form, and Bartosz Zmarzlik dropping points there in Riga. Kurtz can't believe what he's doing at the moment. Fantastic stuff from him. And now can he go all the way in this title race? Because Zmarzlik's from the outside, it did not work out for him. Kurtz with a huge victory in Riga.
3 wins in a row is just absolutely crazy, but as for the points, there's still 2 rounds to go and a lot can happen yet.
But it's a huge move in terms of points, and suddenly now Zmarzlik lead down to just 3 points.
For myself and for all crowds who coming, I wish singing together Latvian anthem, and yeah, that was close.
Well, Lebedev is firmly establishing himself as a mainstay in this series. Maybe his first win won't be too far away. That result means a lot to him, as you can see. It's a good second place for Lindgren, but Kurtz has really found the taste for winning. 3 on the bounce now, and that's the biggest of all, especially as it sees him make real inroads into Zmarzlik's overall advantage. 2 rounds remaining. Which way will this title race go? Not just a win for Brady Kurtz in Riga, but a huge point swing. Zmarzlik limited to 14 points by finishing behind Lindgren and Lebedev, and the reigning world champion now under mounting pressure with Kurtz gaining fast. The final left a bad taste in my mouth. I was angry, I was sad, but actually we noticed later that something malfunctioned with the bike, but this is Speedway.
Tak jest w żużlu.
Zmarzlik's lead is down to just 3 points. Either he or Kurtz will be world champion this season. Meanwhile, Lindgren leads Bewley by 9 in the race for bronze, with Holder in 5th place. 2 rounds to go in this thrilling season. Coming next, the final outcome. This is Wrocław in Poland, seen at round 9 of the Speedway Grand Prix series, and the big news from the sprint race was that Bartosz Zmarzlik extended his advantage over Brady Kurtz after finishing 3rd, and that meant 2 more crucial points and a 5-point lead overall, with Kurtz knocked out in qualifying. Zmarzlik in the red helmet got the veteran Max Frick. Every point could be all important in the title hunt, while Dan Bewley won the race in a British 1-2 with Robert Lambert 2nd. And once again, it was Zmarzlik and Kurtz into the meeting final, joined by Dan Bewley and Jack Holder. Kurtz and Bewley on their home track in Poland, and Kurtz looking to equal the record of 4 successive Grand Prix victories. And if he wins the race with Zmarzlik last, it means Kurtz will take over the lead of the World Championship. Kurtz on the inside in red, Bewley in blue off gate 2, Holder in white off gate 3, Zmarzlik yellow off the outside. Kurtz carrying a warning for movement at the start, but still makes a good one there from the inside. Bit of contact on turns 1 and 2, and Zmarzlik gets eased out there by Holder. Bewley in blue in 2nd place. Zmarzlik trying to go in between, now back for the outside, but Brady Kurtz out in front once again here, and Bartosz Zmarzlik, just as in Riga, is mired to the back. He's trying to come round the outside. He's got the better of Holder, I think, there, as Bewley tries to go inside Kurtz for the lead. Kurtz trying to make it back around the outside there. neck and neck for the first place, and that could be blocking out Bartosz Zmarzlik. So Kurz leads from Bewley, and they're still wheel to wheel, and Zmarzlik's now right there with him onto the third lap, but Kurz still leads from Bewley. Zmarzlik tries to turn back now off the second bend, and Bewley almost in the fence, and Zmarzlik through into second place, and now the chase is on for Zmarzlik up against Kurz. The world title battle is right here, but Bewley back in the equation too. It's delaying Zmarzlik definitely from getting up with Kurz, who has the lead still. Zmarzlik back into second place, trying to force his way through, and Kurz back around the outside. Superb move there. Bewley still challenging hard. Brady Kurz round the final bend. It's going to be 4 on the bounce. Kurz wins in Wrocław with Zmarzlik in second place. Absolutely incredible. Kurz taking it all the way, and Kurz is ecstatic with that one, quite rightly so. Again, unbelievable starting, and Zmarzlik could not make his way right through the traffic. The Kurz camp is delighted. There's the elbow between Holder and Bartosz Zmarzlik. It certainly cost Zmarzlik valuable time there, and Kurz took full advantage. The other three were battling away, and Brady Kurz said thanks very much. He is only the third rider in history to win 4 successive Grand Prix, and Bewley and Zmarzlik were at it all race. In the end, Zmarzlik got the second, with Bewley in third place. Brady Kurz wins yet again.
To battle with Bartek right to the end is crazy, and it's an honour to race with him. And before tonight, I thought my only chance to win is if I win every GP. We've won one more, so one more to go.
Well, Kurz is certainly on a roll, an extraordinary run of victories, now standing at 4. Zmarzlik had to work overtime for second place, and Bewley on the podium for the third time in 4 GPs. He now looks good for bronze overall. They've kept the title race respectful throughout, but it is now going right to the wire. Zmarzlik is still 3 points ahead. That could be all important. It means when they get to the final round, he just has to finish 1 place behind Kurz, take that 6th world title. But at this stage, anything can happen, no margin for error. Really, the season began very dynamically, and then something happened in the last races. Maybe the mechanical choices, or the gate choices, or the lines I took. Everywhere we could have done it 1% better.
Wszędzie gdzieś tam moim zdaniem brakowało procencika lepiej żeby wykonać.
And so it all comes down to Voyens in Denmark for round 10, with the 2 title contenders separated by just 3 points. Zmarzlik has seen it, done it, and won it all before. Kurz is the newcomer that has been massively impressive in his debut Grand Prix season.
Well, here we are. We're in Voyens, Denmark, an iconic track. Numerous world champions have been crowned on this track on a particular night, and we're coming into probably one of the more neutral tracks on the series, because not a lot of riders come here throughout the year in leagues or anything like that, so it really opens up an amazing night that's in front of us.
We all knew the rules, how the point system works, so I focused on arriving well prepared and finishing minimum second, with Brady coming first. That was the plan I needed to accomplish.
Jego zwycięstwie i jakby to było plan, który musiałem zrobić.
First job was to make the final, and both Zmarzlik and Kurz did just that, along with the informed Bewley and the wildcard Michael Jepsen Jensen, who will be a Grand Prix regular next year. Kurz needs assistance from at least one of them to put 2 places between himself and Zmarzlik if he's going to take the title. The 2025 World Champion is about to be crowned, but will it be Kurz or Zmarzlik? This is the biggest race of the season. Kurz, Zmarzlik, Jepsen Jensen and Bewley at the start line for the final in Voyens. Massive race at the end of a fabulous season, and here we go, and it's a great start by Kurz off the inside. Kurz has it, but Bewley, Zmarzlik battling Bewley, turning back there in yellow, and Jepsen Jensen almost leads, and Zmarzlik now turns back off the second bend, back straight into the third turn, and into second place he goes, and just for a moment he was in third with Kurz out in front, but now Bartosz Zmarzlik has second, and that would be enough even if Kurz takes the victory. Zmarzlik is second, not really challenging the leader, but crucially he has that second place in front of Michael Jepsen Jensen, and he's 2 laps away from the World Championship. Zmarzlik is second. He's in a fairly safe second place there, with Jepsen Jensen and Bewley battling away for third. Brady Kurz, if he looks over his shoulder, he'll see his title rival is that 1 place behind, which is all important. With 1 lap to go, Brady Kurz about to become the first rider ever to win 5 successive Speedway Grand Prix, but it won't quite be enough for the World Championship, because Bartosz Zmarzlik in the second place he needs. They come off the final turn. Kurtz does win in Voyage, but Zmarzlik is a 6-time world champion. Kurtz has been unbelievable. 5 wins on the bounce. He's taken it all the way, but Zmarzlik got the job done that he had to do, and he's world champion once again. Congratulations from Michael Jensen. Bartosz Zmarzlik, world champion 2025, 6-time Speedway Grand Prix world champion. He is one of the all-time greats of Speedway. He's had to work all the way for it against Brady Kurtz, who's reeled him in the second half of the season, and that final showed just what Kurtz has been doing with the fast start. Just for a moment there, Zmarzlik could have been in trouble. The switchback on Jensen, absolutely crucial to his world championship. Zmarzlik takes the honours in the end overall, but what a season, what a win once again for Brady Kurtz.
I respect Bartek so much as a competitor. I've admired him for a very long time, and yeah, I think he's probably the greatest Speedway rider to ever do it, and to think we battled him right to the end is something pretty special, and I think it's an achievement that not many others will ever get to say. To be honest, this year was just easy. I enjoyed the whole year. I didn't have any pressure. Even today I felt almost no pressure at all. I was already so happy with silver, and yeah, I'm sure next season will be more difficult, but I'll try and keep my same old and hopefully building towards a good next year.
The two riders who have thrilled us in a sensational season-long battle, and it's Zmarzlik just who ends up on top. The year was a great success. I remember him from our fun earlier years in the Swedish League. We have a great relationship. Huge congratulations to him because he really did an amazing season. And just time for a quick change. The golden suit ready for a 6th world title.
It's amazing because this year is the big challenge for us. I make it again the 6 times is the feeling, you know, unbelievable, and I'm really happy because the 6 times make it the world champion is so really tough and really hard work, and 6 times. Thank you.
So Kurtz makes history with a 5th straight win, but Zmarzlik got the job done with 2nd. Buick's 4th place confirmed, a podium finish overall. Kurtz can still look back with huge pride. This win in Voyage puts him into the record books with those 5 wins on the bounce of an amazing rookie campaign. Zmarzlik and Jensen also spraying the champagne at the end of a dramatic season, featuring one of the closest title fights in years. Kurtz tried everything, but it wasn't quite enough to defeat Zmarzlik. A 6th world championship for him. What an achievement. Confirmation that Buick is on this season's podium, Lindgren finishing 4th. And there is Dan Bewley, a consistent campaign for him, including the win in Manchester. Kurtz runner-up despite those 5 wins, and the world champion once again, Bartosz Zmarzlik. A big sigh of relief, 6 times at the age of 30. Everything hasn't sunk in yet. It felt good to close that cycle of Grand Prix and to enjoy the 6th win, and the mission for 25 was completed.
Cieszyć się tym, że masz to po raz 6. i że jakby misja Grand Prix na 2025 jest zakończona.
He's been on the rise throughout his career. It's now 6 world titles in 7 years for this Polish superstar, but he will certainly admit it's been one of his toughest campaigns yet, and with Kurtz and Bewley, there's more to come. Zmarzlik joined late New Zealand great Ivan Major and Swedish legend Tony Rickardsson in the sport's most exclusive club of 6-time FIM Speedway World Champions, as well as becoming the first rider in the sport's history to win 4 gold medals in a row, along with his 2019 and 2020 victories. The FIM Speedway Grand Prix season 2026 will start in Landshut, Germany in early May. No doubt Bartosz Zmarzlik and Brady Kurtz will start as the 2 favourites next year, and Dan Bewley finishing P4 in 2024. Now 3rd place overall for him, he will also be a tough contender. We can't wait for that. Thank you for watching. Until next season, take care.